This week on the Big Eyes podcast, we catch you guys up on everything we've been reading on our break.
Is Black Clover underrated?
Who's the bigger villain, Kaido or All for One?
And Big Maki Hive, Big Toji Hive.
All this and more on this episode of the Big Eyes podcast. I'm mad. You're gonna continue to scream. So I press record. Yeah, I thought I was gonna catch you getting super hyped.
Hey man. I know we just started. Welcome back. That's a crazy way to start, but I'm also watching the Hawks game, man. Shout out to my boys.
If y'all don't know, AD, real Atlanta, dog. He Atlanta to the heart. So I know now he on a different level because of this Hawks game.
Just got news about Julio to the Titans, bro. I'm sad that we couldn't make this man, get this man a ring. But all best wishes for the man.
Y'all could have.
We're not gonna talk about that. That shit's so disappointing, bro. Let me have my high with the Hawks right now, man. We're not talking about that no more. We on to the Hawks right now. Hey man.
Y'all could have got it ring.
Right now I'm on the high with the Hawks. The Braves is kind of disappointing me. What? Oh, hold up. Wait. What? Oh my God! Wait, hold up, please, bruh. 28 seconds left. I'm sorry. Get this ball down court immediately. Oh, they fouling? Let's go.
Oh my God!
This is a welcome back.
Shout out to shout out to RSPN. Shout out to Mark Jeff. Oh my gosh, man! Big Eyes, we're back, man. Man, listen, what's up? We're back. We are, we're in the
you already know
the manga dundadas, the warlords of this manga shit. We back. It's been a fun little month off. I mean, missed you guys. We missed talking shit. I missed conversating. So, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's been a fun month where I've been able to just sit back and read and catch up on things and read things and but
man,
listen, Big Eyes, we're back.
I think for me with this month, it didn't feel like I had to be so pressured to catch up on a lot of stuff at the same time, man. Taking a month, you just sit back and just casually enjoy everything, man. I done went through a couple of different manga, but I think the biggest thing that I've read this past month is from Horihiko Araki. If you don't know who that is, it's the JoJo author. Shout out to JoJo. Shout out to all the JoJo fans out there. Shout out to OG Johnny 5.
He's been having. Hey, listen, this man has had. There's been a JoJo's revival in the Lookout chat because of J5, man.
Hey, man.
The JoJo's talk is absolutely crazy right now in the chat.
Yeah, man. It's always good, bro. It's good to see him go.
I've never seen it. I've only seen part one, and part one was really good, and I enjoyed it. But I have not moved on from anything from after part one. Y'all make me want to watch it, though.
Hey, man, this is the thing about it, though. And that's why I appreciate reading this book, because he even talks about his successes and failures in JoJo's. For me, my favorite part animated right now is part 4. It's so good, and I think he's going through part 4 right now. But the thing about Araki with him and his publications in Shonen Jump, with this book, you see him lay out the different foundations of what he's worked with, what his successes were, such as making sure that your first page is the most eye-catching thing. From your first page to your first chapter, if you can't get your editor to read through all of those things at Shonen Jump, then you're not going to be successful. And so he goes through all of that. He shows how he transitioned from the muscular style from his part 1 through 3 to a more relaxed style with part 4 on, and it's so good. He from the characters to how he lays out his writing. It's so good that I really suggest, if you want to write a novel or start making your own manga or anything like that, pick that book up, bro. It's literally called Manga in Theory and Practice. it's so good, my guy. I look at manga differently now because of this man, bro. Like it's crazy how detailed he gets when he goes into all of this stuff, and it's really just like him, just like gushing about his past success and his past work. It's so good, man.
Yeah, that's dope. It's always cool when you get to first of all dive into a mind of a mangaka and and writers and authors, because their thought process is so different than us fans, because we're seeing the final
Hmm.
product. With them, as they're creating it, I know that their process of how they want things to look and what their intent is with things is completely different than probably sometimes than we perceive. um
Yeah,
Manga especially, uh, enjoying manga especially in America, where how we have to consume manga is much different than how they probably consume manga in Japan, is really cool, because it's a whole different process for us. We have,
yeah,
and shout out to Mike Montesa. When we did our interview with him, he really opened my eyes too of just the behind the scenes stuff for us that has to happen for us to even enjoy manga. So it's like you get the
yeah,
process of the author who makes it, then you get the process of like the editors, the translators, and all of them, in America, and like the how they have to, they how they have to keep that essence, but then put it in like an American,
yeah,
like even especially like
yeah,
translators, and whatnot. So manga's fun, man. Like that
yeah.
is the one thing that I just that hit home for me. Like where I was just at home reading manga. Unlike AD, I was smoking through shit. Like even AD
Hey, man.
was like, I'll be texting AD and he'll be like, "What chapter are you on?" I'll be like, "Oh, I'm on like chapter 80," and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then it'd be like end of the day, he'd be like, "Oh, damn, how far are you?" I'd be like, "Oh, damn, I'm on like chapter 200 now." He'd be like,
Hey,
"Bro,
man.
what are you doing?"
I was sitting here like, my guy, like, first of all, shout out to you for that. Like, when you sent me those messages, I was like, okay, I like this. I like this. This is the character growth that we need from
Okay,
all the
so
manga and anime
all
fans.
right, listen. Before we get into some other stuff that we've been reading while we've been on break, let me get the hard part out first. Um, I have to eat the crow on this episode. Uh, I want it seared hard. Hopefully, there's a sauce that goes over on top of it, maybe over a bed of some fresh greens. But I was wrong about Black Clover. God, I want to throw up after saying that. I was wrong about Black Clover. We've talked about it on here. I've kind of jumped in and out of it, in and out, and I just couldn't fully just sit there and just fully get into it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just read it until where we're at now. Now, granted, that first part was very hard to get through. Asta is a very hard um protagonist for me to really get into, and I think that was the issue, is that if I can't at least get like the main protagonist doesn't have to be my favorite character. I don't care, even
Yeah.
if you look at something like My Hero Academia, Deku isn't my favorite character. To be honest, I don't know if Deku cracks my top 5. Maybe my top 5. He doesn't crack my top 3 for sure. He's probably either 4 or 5 or 6. He's one of those. But
Hey, man, listen, after Vigilantes, I got some words about like more characters that we might have to discuss.
oh
But that's
yeah,
another
man!
time. Yeah.
Shout out to Eraserhead.
Mm.
Shout out to my dog. But so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna push through, push through, push through. So I'm reading it. I'm reading it. I'm starting to find other little side characters, and I'm starting to like Asta's starting to do some cool things. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm like, okay, Asta, no, let's say he gets so many. Listen, man, I don't know what type of game this nigga be playing, but I don't know. Bro? Isn't a game crazy? Listen, he got him lined up. But I continue to read it, and it was one specific point where the series takes a turn. Now, it did do the dumb thing where it kind of like revived the character, but it's okay because it ends up kind of making sense. But
Yeah.
when the Wizard King Julius dies, during like the beginning of the whole Elves War and all that. When he dies, that is when I was like, oh shit. I'm like, this is kind of fucking heat. Like, like the plot twist. Now I always felt that um the the leader of the golden shit. Why do I keep want to say golden eye? Because I'm thinking of
Golden Dawn.
Golden Dawn. I keep want to say Golden Eye because I'm thinking of Nintendo 64. Um, but
Go shit.
no, the leader of Golden Dawn, like the whole like him really being lich and like I've always had like you always had a weird feeling about him because he has the mask on. I think anytime a character consistently has a mask on, you're already like you're suspecting them of being up to something shady. But and
Yeah.
you have that moment between him and Yami when Yami is like, take off your mask, let me see your face, because even Yami was having his he was suspicious of some shit. But that moment where you kind of figure out that him and Lich are like the same person, and Lich is really this elf, and they've been living inside this like two souls in the same body. I was like, okay, this shit's kind of like this shit's going crazy, like this shit's heat.
Yeah.
And then you get the whole Elves War, that was absolutely amazing. You start to learn more about Asta and his like anti-magic powers. You learn more about the elves. Who, man, shout out to the elves, bro. They were really you know what I'm saying? They were some marginalized people, So I
Yeah.
let's not understood the struggle. And then you get through the Elves War, then you figure out that in reality the reason why all this shit happens is because of this demon, and then how that leads into the next arc slash the current arc that we're kind of into now. You're kind of just like,
Hmm.
oh shit, like it expands the
It's a
world.
whole nother
Yeah,
side.
it's a whole nother side, and then it kind of they how they are able how they use that moment to expand the world. And then you expand into the different kingdoms. Then you get into the Spade Kingdom. Shout out to my dog, over here,
Yeah.
out here, bro. Wind Spirit
Young
Hive,
Prince.
Young Prince. You know what I'm saying? You get into that. So I've become a fan of Black Clover. Now, AD helped me a little bit because he's like, bro, listen, you can't read Black Clover and read it with the same mindset that you read some other manga with. Like, you can't read it in terms of this like top dog manga.
Yeah.
Because personally, I still don't feel that it really is. But in turn, like if you compare it to other mangas, like I don't feel it's in the same league as Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't feel it's in the same league as My Hero. I don't even feel it's in the same league as One Piece. I do feel that it is very, very popular though, and I do feel that it's not in I wouldn't put it in the I would put it probably in the tier below them.
I could agree with that. I can agree with that.
I'll probably put them in the tier below them. And it's weird because they're in this weird middle ground where I don't feel that they are a cornerstone for Shonen Jump, but they are definitely above everything else that's kind of going on in Shonen Jump. They're just not at that level the others are. It's like a gatekeeper manga for me. Like if you're better than Black Clover, then I feel that okay, like you're able to move on to the next level. Like if you're not better than Black Clover, like you gotta stay. It's like a gatekeeper. Um,
See, I, for some they would probably like disagree with that
oh,
statement
they
because it's
definitely.
like
I'm probably
gatekeeping.
gonna get some
But
hate for
but
that.
here's the thing, no, because here's the thing. I agree with you in the sense that it's a gatekeeper manga, but like I look at Black Clover as the new entry wave for new manga fans or new anime fans. Like something like My Hero, because it's superhero heavy and like it's based on like comics and everything like that. I think that's another entry and gateway manga for like newer manga fans. But I think Black Clover can also do that in that regard because it kind of shows you what manga can really do. Like it's one of the things that they explain in Araki's book also, where Shonen Jump's three pillars are friendship, effort, and victory. And you could see that clear as
Oh
day
yeah,
with the
definitely.
Black Clover.
Listen, Black Clover, it feeds you, man. Listen, it feeds you that bitch on a platter. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
listen, Black. I mean, I agree with you though. I think that Black Clover is, if there's a person that's like, I want to get into shonen, I want to kind of get into like manga, I would tell them to read Black Clover because it hits all those key points. There's enough like mystery in the story to kind of keep you wanting to read more, but it's not so overly complicated to the point where you're like, I don't understand what's going on and this and that.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's even some things like when it's not even like that heavy into it, when they drop like those small little twists that you would like completely forget about, because it's like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, this kind of wouldn't make sense. But when you look back on it and when they introduce that plot twist, it's like, oh, it was right there in front of us the whole time. It's just like we ain't never really think about it. And Black Clover kind of does that so subtly well, where like you're so focused on these these character moments because it's so character focused and character driven, and it's building them up throughout the entire story. But when you get to those moments where the twist happens, it's like, oh, well, that makes sense in the context of what's going on because of something that was set up prior, long before. And I think Black Clover does that really well and doesn't get enough credit for it. I would say some examples, but I would say like just go read it. But yeah, man, Black
yeah,
Clover
read
is
it.
gas.
No, it's good. If you're definitely looking for, I think Black Clover is definitely a good entryway point to like the newer generation of shonen right now. Like it's a good
Yeah,
entry point for like the newer generation of shonen. If you're like someone that's like, I want to like, you want something a little different than what's currently happening. Like there's, yeah, but I think it's for the newer generation, for what we're currently reading, what anime and manga is looking like now. Black Clover is definitely a great entryway point. But we'll talk more about Black Clover later. Some other things that I got through. Um, Blue Exorcist. And Blue Exorcist is one of those ones where I've heard mixed reviews about it consistently. Like I know some people will absolutely despise it. I know some people will absolutely love it. I know some people are in the middle ground and it's good. I'm a fan of it. I think that it does the whole spirit magic demon thing really really well.
hmm
Especially you talking about like Satan and Exorcist and all these things. So I think it does it very well. I like the fact that a lot of the strife that happens in Blue Exorcist is, you can see it's a lot of like internal. Like you see that these people like actually have like inner things that they're really dealing with, and there is, it's bigger than them just trying to like kill Satan. It's like bigger than them just
yeah,
trying to, they have like this mission, this goal that they're going after. Like, no, like half the time these motherfuckers be in their own way. You know what I'm saying? So you be like, you really
yeah,
be seeing like their own mental blocks, their own insecurities, these own things. And it's sometimes it's not even having to deal with um having to deal with like their own powers or something. It's sometimes it's like real life shit that they're kind of dealing with, or like, as a team, that as they're dealing with like shit. Like
yeah,
they talk about how Ren's inability to like talk about his emotions and feelings, or just say that he likes someone, like how that be fucking him up on the battlefield. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like it's little shit
yeah,
like it's like their own little emotional traumas that they got to go through. But I got all the way through Blue Exorcist, which I really loved. And a fan of.
yeah. I think Blue Exorcist. I haven't gotten through it. I will say I have seen the anime for it, and I do plan to dive back into it. And you're right about the whole, dealing with their emotions thing. I think from what I've seen so far, it deals with a lot of like depression and anxiety within all of these characters, even with like the beginning with Father Fujimoto, and how just a slight little thing that Ren said to him kind of like, hit him really hard. Like no
Mm-hmm.
spoilers, but that's like the first episode. Cause and it's like, damn, like just inviting that small little thought into your mind, like maybe somebody doesn't love me, maybe somebody really doesn't care for me. What about this? What about that? And you just invite those small things, and it tumbles into like a deep anxiety moment. And I think Blue Exorcist is really one of those special ones where it can speak to you on a deeper level if you feel like feel those type of emotions all because we go through those every day. Like I think
Yeah.
everybody has those moments, and I think if you want something to speak to you on that type of level and show you like, hey, maybe everything isn't as bad as it seems. Just think about the people around you, the situation that you're in. Blue Exorcist is that type of story, and I think it's really wholesome in that regard.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you hit it. You hit the nail right on the head. Of it, it talks about a lot, even just how curses and all these things are even able to get into the world. Is that they're based off human emotion. They're based off these negative
Hmm.
emotions that humans let off, and they grow. And like you said, it's gonna be episode 1. It's on chapter 1 too. But when Father Fujimoto, when he gets possessed, it literally was an
Yeah,
instant of him just losing his cool, and like a moment of like
yeah,
him like letting just a little negative thought into his head that caused him to have this moment. And like you said, if
yeah,
if you're a person, I mean, that's real life shit. All it really does sometimes is just take
yeah.
one negative thought to like fuck you up sometimes, and I like how they,
Exactly.
they it's fancy, but a lot of that emotion that they portray in there is based on a lot of realism of, damn, like that's actual like a real emotion. Like, it's a real thing that a person feels or a person would feel. It may not be me attempting to learn how to master a spell, but like there have been times where it's
Yeah,
like you're trying to go learn a new skill and you get frustrated. And you're like, you look at people probably around you and next to you that are trying to learn this new thing, and they're picking it up and you're behind, and like, so I love how um yeah, the emotions that they are able to tap into Blue Exorcist. But I mean, it's definitely a fun manga to read. Shoot, what else, man? I was reading everything.
let's see. I went through the only thing I honestly got through besides like the Araki book was Astra Lost in Space. And that was a pretty fun read. It's like 49 chapters. It's basically about a group of kids who are on a science expedition for their school and accidentally get like sent to a different side of the universe. And there's like a whole conspiracy behind it. Like it is something with the government that sent these kids that far. Meanwhile, the kids are trying to like find their way back home because they all have different skill sets. And so they're trying to like use the knowledge that they've learned to basically make their progression back home, like slowly but surely. So they go through like a whole bunch of different planets, look at the ecosystem, take what they've learned from like home, such as like the different plants that we have on Earth and compare it to like the ecosystem there, so they can like collect food, make water, understand like how to survive it on these different types of ecosystems. And it's kind of like apocalyptic in a way because it's like shit, bro. Like, what if this really happened to Earth? Like, how would we be able to survive these type of situations? And so I think with Astro Lost in Space, it's a really fun short read. Like all the characters are pretty dope. The plot twists, you might project them from like a mile away, but when they hit, it's like, damn, bro. Like the other ones you won't really see coming. And I think it's a really fun read in that regard. So I would say, yeah, go definitely read Astro Lost in Space, like 49, 50 chapters, pretty short. Also, Record of Ragnarok, that shit is
I need to
actually pretty
tag. I know you
gas.
sent me that shit. I gotta get reading on that. I read like the
Hey
first few.
man,
I read the first few chapters. That shit's different. That shit's really
that
different.
shit, that shit is hard. Like if you not sold on the manga, wait for the anime because anime starts I think either this month or next month.
I like how they just mix
But
in all the mythological gods and all that. Like, that shit's tight.
yeah, man, I think go ahead.
No, I think I just see. I think it's tight. Like I said, you sent it to me. I remember you telling me to read it. I got like a
Uh,
few chapters in, and I got caught up reading all the other shit that I was reading. But yeah,
I yeah, I think if you want something that's just like straight fight, straight hands, and then like goes like that was something I was just like, dang, I ain't expected to be like this. But then we get my favorite part was the Atom fight versus who was it? Zeus. Oh my god. That shit was fantastic. That had the best interpretation of Genesis. I'm sorry. Like the Adam and Eve story. that was the best thing, hands down. You can't convince me otherwise at this point. They need to put that in the Bible.
Nah, man, yeah. I mean, I just know that if you're a fan of mythology, gods, all that, like Reckon of Ragnarok is definitely something for you.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I was reading everything, man. I was reading Boys Over Flowers. That was really tight. That shit was dark. That shit was low really dark. At some part, it's funny. It's really, it is. It's an older manga. I don't know exactly what year it was written, but you can obviously tell from the art style that it was older. Maybe 90s. I'm thinking so. Um,
Okay. Go ahead.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, but no, it's no, it's based on a young lady and her going to this like elite school, but she's kind of lower class, and here's these there's boys called the Flower Four who are super elite, super rich, and they got like all this power over the school, and they're able to do things. And obviously, her and one of them find this connection, and she keeps, they fall into some hijinks and some antics, but like it also like speaks a lot to like classism and just kind of classism,
Mm.
sexism. They touch on some like assault, abuse shit, and I was like, yo, like
Ooh.
this is it's like, damn, like there's some funny moments, but there are definitely some moments you're just like, yo, this is kind of dark. I was like, this is kind of heavy right now. It's some heavy shit. But something really cool else I was reading, and all right, I'll let you finish, and then I'll get on my last highlight of what I was reading this
Oh,
month. You already know where I'm
oh
going
no,
with it too.
oh Jesus. I was just gonna say the, the only other thing that I've really read through was World War Blue. It had a small 3 episode anime that came out way back in the day, but it's essentially like the console wars, Nintendo versus Sega. It's centered around um the person named Gear, who is the embodiment of Sonic. um he's essentially from a small village, like it got destroyed by the Nintendo army, and he's just like one of the last few people of his village. So he's working on like trying to jump across the river, because in Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic is trash in water, like he can't really move fast. So they kind of like play up all of Sonic's weaknesses into Gear. But then they also have like other characters, like they have the personification of Mario, Luigi. They're like generals of the Nintendo army. You have people from Fantasy Star. If you're a really big fan of like the Nintendo and Sega games, I would highly suggest you like tap into World War Blue. It's really good. It even goes into like some of the offshoot type of you know game franchises. Like there's a person who's like Tetris, but all he does is make dirty jokes. That shit is ridiculous. He's like, bruh, it's insane. But he's also one of the cleanest people that to fight against. It's so good in a different way. I think it's really slept on. I only picked it up because I was one of those people who saw it way back in the day, and I was like, bro, they need to like drop some more heat for this. Like this cannot fly under the radar. I'm a gamer, so like when I saw this, it just really spoke to me, and yeah,
I think it's always cool when manga um references either other mangas or other like pop culture things. I always think that's really
yeah,
cool. It's always really fun because you get to connect with it in a different way. Like you said, like you're
mm,
a heavy gamer, so reading a manga that has influence, and you see on Nintendo games and whatnot is really cool. Or when you're reading a manga like the one I'm about to rant about for probably like three
oh
minutes
man,
before
oh
I give you
man.
like five, give me like 5 minutes straight, give me like 5 minutes straight to go
All right, go
crazy.
for it.
But
Yeah, yeah, nah, literally.
nah, man, I think that it's always cool when you just see those little tiny tidbits and little Easter eggs in it, because like you said, like when you're a fan of other things outside of manga, or you fan of other mangas, and you see these artists or these mangaka like also showing their fandom with it, you be like,
Yeah,
damn, like that's cool. Like you know what I'm saying? You be like,
yeah, exactly.
like damn, they just like me. Like they enjoy this just like me. So it's as those moments in manga are always my favorite because it in a sense it humanizes the mangaka a bit, because we
Yeah,
see them as just we see a lot of them as this here's this great artist who writes this great story, and you feel connected with them through the story. But then you see that you like feel connected with them as like another like human, like another person. You're like, oh shit, like what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if I ever met up with
It's
them,
like shit. You could really just like strike a
yeah.
conversation with this dude. Like, bro,
Yeah, like you like if I ever meet up with them, like I don't have like I won't just talk to them about like their work. I also talk to them like, hey, I saw that you referenced that. Like, you a fan? Like you're a fan of that too? Like
yeah.
so those moments are always great. And one manga that I read that does that excellently all throughout, got crazy, all types of Easter eggs throughout it, is Food Wars. Now, I know I've talked about Food Wars about this a few times on this on this show. I hadn't gotten all the way through it. It was so here's the thing, all right? Boom. So when you first start Food Wars, it hits you over the head immediately with the over the topness, like immediately. So sometimes when you're like, when you're reading that beginning, really getting into it, it kind of fucks you up a bit because you just be like, yo, like why is it so like raunchy? Like why is it so like this? Like you try, it's
Mhm.
it's funny, but at the time, like you can't take it serious. But you continue to read it. You continue to go through Soma's story. You continue to meet all these other characters. And yo, Food Wars is that motherfucking deal. I read all of it. It's that fucking code. Man, listen, S plus tier. Like I told fucking AD, is S plus tier for me. I like the story is absolutely amazing. I just you go through the fall classic, and then you get the what damn what's her name's Divine Tongue, her dad comes in, and then you get like
Yeah.
you get past
The
beast. Yeah,
insanity.
you get the it's just so fucking crazy. And like as a person who is in the culinary world, I usually don't try to, I'm not saying like I keep keep things separate, but it's like manga is such an escape to me. So it's kind of like for me, I'm like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm not gonna really jump into a manga that's about cooking. I do it every single day for work. But this shit like ignited a passion in me that I was like, God damn, like this shit is, bruh, I fucking love Food Wars. I fucking love Food Wars. Food Wars is so great. I'm too excited to really able to explain everything that why I like it so much. I gotta calm down. Maybe I'll do it on another episode. But Food Wars is amazing. I'm so happy that I finally took the time to like sit down and actually read it and not read it in a way where I'm like, I'm trying to read and analyze. I'm happy I was able to read it and take it for what it is and take it for what it was. Like I didn't have to like see the raunchiness and like try to break it and dissect it down. Like, why is it ha ha ha? So whatever. It was like Food Wars is great because it through even outside of the raunchiness that's absolutely hilarious. And sometimes it's like you're like, yo, you're wilding. um it just has these really great moments. I think even especially when you look at Soma's his interaction with every other character. Especially like I think a big moment is when he loses the fall classic, because up until that point, he's like smoking everyone his age, like smoking everyone in his age group.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, listen, like, I've been cooking and running a restaurant since I was young. Like, this is nothing to me. Um, but then you start, you get Rio, and you get damn, what's his name? I can't even remember his name right now. But once he loses the fall classic, it's like he's like, shit, like there's actually some other really good kids my age. He's like, oh fuck, like now,
Yeah.
and you see that moment not only push him to be better, but I think one big thing about Food Wars that it talks about is having a specialty, or have like your individualism with cooking. um and at that
Yeah.
moment, that was when someone was like, shit, I need to find my specialty. Like, what is my, what I'm saying? Like, what is my style of cooking?
Yeah.
What is that someone's style of cooking? And you see him through his journey from that point on, figure that out. You meet, the original the Council of 10, and you meet all of them and how all of them have their different things. um the you know They have some great JoJo references throughout. They have some great, some other
Mm.
really really good ones throughout. It's just man, Food Wars is great. Food Wars is absolutely amazing. I love Food Wars from top to bottom. So I that is easily my favorite thing I've read in the last month is Food Wars. Everything else was really really good. Black Clover was good, but so Food Wars is another. Food Wars had me so drilled in. That was one of the nights where I sent you the screenshot when Shonen Jump hit me with the 100 chapter limit, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "When did this happen?"
Hey, say, yo, bro, you wildin'. Ain't no way you reading this much, bro. You gotta calm
I
down.
man, listen, I've been reading so much. It's been fun, but it's listen, this past month has been really great to just catch up on different things, read different things. Um, Viz is I don't know if they either a updated the library or I just wasn't really looking and or paying attention, but like the stuff that they updated with was really cool. I read Claymore. I've been reading Claymore a bit, and that's pretty tight. Um, but yeah, man, it's been a fun month being able to just to read and get to learn or not to learn, but like just to read and get into new things.
Yeah. I will say this is gonna probably bridge into like the stuff that we got to keep up on. But I have been reading Vigilantes for My Hero. I have been catching up with
Oh yeah,
that.
same here, same here.
Bruh,
Vigilantes is that deal.
bruh.
Vigilantes is that. Hey, I
We
was
we gonna have to have like a My Hero versus Vigilantes talk at some
man.
point.
Listen,
We're gonna have to have that talk. Like,
we gotta connect the past to the present and do the what I'm
yeah,
saying. It was, but
bruh. Vigilantes is so like I think My Hero is doing something so great in that how we have a lot of anime and manga that'll do the sequel series, you know what I'm saying? And it'll do it after the main story is over, or they'll do like the spin-off or something like that, like some type of Star Wars, Clone Wars type shit, you feel me? But then we have My Hero here that's telling the prequel at the same time as the main story. And it's like you get to see all of the plot lines connect. You get to see backstories for like all of these different characters. We get a Stain origin story. We see Aizawa in his beginnings. Shout out to his Purple Highness. Wait till y'all get to that part.
hey Prince, hey
Um,
real Minnesota shit, real Minnesota shit.
that shit was wild. I was like, bro, y'all just capping on this one. Like, y'all actually inserted this nigga. That shit is gold. Shout out to we get to see like the number one hero in the U.S. and he has a whole story
Hey, you
arc. It's
talking
so,
about
bro. It's
Homelander?
so
You talking about just Homelander light?
yeah, yeah,
That's Homelander light,
bro.
bro. Listen, you have to,
Oh
man, he
man,
had them cases. The boy had them
yeah, man.
cases.
They was out for blood with that guy. But shout out to Koichi though. Like to see the growth with that main character as opposed to like Deku, it's like current Deku is on some real hard shit right now.
Man, listen.
That shit is
Current Deku on another goddamn level. Chapter 315 was
yeah,
wild. Shout out.
yeah.
Hey
We
man. Hey, listen, bro. Chapter 315. Y'all may talk about villains. Y'all may talk about, what I'm saying? Y'all may talk about villains and sinister people. Not many niggas right now are touching for that man, all for one.
yeah,
Because
that nigga.
who puts a who puts a bomb clause on a person, bro? So like who puts a bomb clause on a person? He said, "Yo, listen, I don't know if you really built for this or not, but if you not, this is gonna well put something inside of you also this is gonna
Just a
explode just in case,
contingency
just a
plan.
contingency just in case you really built for this life or not, man." He's man, listen, he is a sinister human, like a sinister villain, like an absolute sinister villain. I like, oh my god, that is, oh man. So listen, since we've been gone, my hero has been on quite a journey since we've been gone.
Yeah, all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. You get Deku. He's running around, and he is pretty much. right now they're working on finding Shigaraki. They're working on
Yeah.
finding All for One and trying to figure out like, okay, like where are they at. And
Mhm.
um
You know, Deku went rogue for a little minute
man, it wasn't real rogue.
after the big
It
war.
wasn't even really
I
rogue.
mean,
It's not really rogue.
but it's like a little plot thing, man. But like you see that they have Lady Naga and Overhaul there, hunting Deku down on his ass. Overhaul is like trying to find the boss that he used to work for. I have been like watching a little bit of My Hero, like trying to like catch up to the anime. But you see Overhaul in the back, just like trying to find his boss and talk to him or whatever. And you got Lady Noggin here, who used to be Hawks' mentor, and just like gunning Deku down. Like she is cold. Like one of the author notes for Shonen Jump had Horikoshi say, "Hey yo, she's definitely inspired by Wanted. Like the Wanted bullets curving
Yeah, the
everything. Yeah,
curving bullets.
yeah, that shit was so hard, man. Like, she is so cold. Oh, All for One didn't have to do that, bro. That man is weak.
So if you don't know who Lady Nagin is, she is so originally she was a hero, and there is a moment when she first makes her entrance. First of all, I fell in love immediately, and AD even told me, he
Ah.
was like, once you read the new chapter, he was like, you're gonna find yourself a new boo, and I did. Shout out to Lady Naga. Well, now she's dead, I think. So our short-lived loved was amazing. But no, so even Snipe says he was like, listen, I'm I'm cold, but she's next level.
Yeah,
And
her ability
yeah,
outstands
like he was
mine.
just like, I'm the best sharpshooter, and he was like, I'm the best sharpshooter now, only because she's not around. Like that, like he's literally like, bro, listen, she's still around, I would be number two. Like he's even he even admits this. But she was a former hero who was working for the for the Hero Society, doing all these things. And first of all, this is like really I'm gonna say the first time, but this is like one of those rare times where they kind of bring up murder a lot,
Yeah,
especially with her. Like, her, like, she didn't just like take out villains, like she was like legit, what I'm saying, like murder, like
often.
off in these cats, like off in villains. um and pretty much she's one of those ones who saw Hero Society kind of for what it was.
Hmm.
But in it hit her on the side of like, she was it hit her in one of those ways where it was she was not being a hero, just kind of wasn't enough. She was like, nah, I need
Hmm.
to get some payback. um
Yeah.
so at the time, I think it was like, it wasn't the there was a time where she quit, or when she was quitting, that she was putting in her resignation to the head of the Hero Society at the time, and it looked like he was about to try to pull a quick draw on her, and she had to
Yeah.
she had to do the same thing, and you listen, real shooters shoot. And so she let it off and killed him, and then she ended up in Tartarus, and then the whole breakout thing happens, and she ended up she all for one sees her and is like, yo, listen, actually I got some use for you. I'm looking for a certain young lad right now that I need you to
Hmm.
take out and bring to me. And with this, he gives her another quirk for her body. So now now she had, so pretty much for her quirk, she could like pretty much turn her right arm into a rifle, and then uses her hair to create bullets. And
That's hard.
yeah, I know, right? That's really crazy. And I don't even think it's just like, I think her like, right, I think it's not even just one type of gun that she could make her arm with, right? Like she can do like different, in a sense of different barrels, I'll say. Um
Yeah.
and like she can hit anything from what it was like a 300 kilometer, something like wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Snipe could only hit like 30,
yeah. So
and she
Sniper,
could
yeah,
hit
she can
like
hit like
10
yeah,
times.
she can hit like 300 kilometers. No, anything away. She can make these bullets that can do these crazy things, and so she pretty much is just she's a human sniper, like legit, like a human sniper. Um, but no, so like her and Deku having this battle is cool because you see uh you see Deku starting he's starting to use, first of all, he's able to use all for one for all. He's starting to be able to use that at 45% pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
He's also able to um he's pulling out the no, he's pulling
I
out
was gonna
all the
say,
other quirks now, but
yeah,
at first he was like overextending himself. He was like trying to go 45% and use Black Whip and use the smoke screen and use 5 Gen
yeah,
and use this, you know what I'm saying, and use the dangerous sense and use that and use that. So, even the president is like, yo, you gotta chill. Like you're about to, like, you know what I'm saying? You're about to burn yourself out. Um, and then this chapter, he even acknowledges it in this chapter, as we see Fajin, which is pretty much he can store up kinetic energy in a limb after repeated movement, and then he's able to kind of release all that energy at once. So, he even says, all right, listen, I just need to use my Black Whip, I use Fajin, I use off one at, or one for all at 45%. And I was like, okay, my body can handle that. So it's the first time we saw Fajin in use, where he was able to, when he's using one for all, he already has like the super speed and the super whatever, but then also adding the 5 Gen to it, he's able to like launch himself. It like increases his speed, it
yeah,
increases whatever. So you see him like launch himself to save Overhaul. Because Nagant was like, you know what? I'm gonna see. Let me see how much of a hero you are. She really tried to let off this shot to, she was really trying to let off this shot to get Deku to make a move to save a person. It's kind of like the whole. It's actually funny. It's like poetic, because in the
yeah.
overhaul arc, that's how Mirio loses his power, because
Mm-hmm.
instead of shooting, instead of shooting Mirio, they tried to shoot the girl, and then Mirio goes, saves the day, tries to save the day, and he gets hit. So it's poetic that it's
Yep.
happening again, but this time it's to Overhaul, where she's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot at Overhaul, but I'm only doing it. So it's kind of like, you're gonna try to go in and save the day, I could hit you with another shot. But using, with his new powers, Deku's on a whole nother level right now. Um, and he, he has his moment where he touches Lady Nagant's heart, and she's like, you know what? Maybe being a hero wasn't so bad. And as soon as she has that thought, kablowy, kabloom,
Villain of the year.
villain of the year, poof, and it just blows her up. A different
That
breed.
nigga's so evil.
He's so evil, bro. Oh my gosh.
Bruh, you gotta love those type of villains though. It's like, oh yeah, nah, no happiness for you. We not having no touching moments. Not around here.
Yeah, he said, no, that, none of that. I don't exist no more. Oh man, but man, my hero's been holding it down. Like you said, they've been really all gas, no breaks. We haven't even really seen what's going on. I mean, it's the beginning of second year for the rest of his classmates, and we haven't seen anything what they're doing. Um, but right now, Deku is he's looking untouchable right now in terms of like just sheer
Yeah,
power and strength. Like he's looking pretty damn untouchable.
literally, all he needs left is, I don't know. We still haven't gotten that last holder's power. But all he honestly needs is like some type of defensive quirk. That's all he's missing. He has evasiveness. He has a smoke screen.
I mean,
He got maneuverability with Black Whip. He got float. Like all he needs is something to like harden his body, something like Kirishima, to like be a defensive
nah, they
force,
do
and he'll be
that.
straight.
That's gonna
I'm
be
saying he'll be
so.
broken. He'll be broken.
Nah, that's too OP. I mean, he's like he's hitting OP now. He's leading OP now, and we still have one more quirk that he did. I hope it's something stupid like you can grow flowers or some shit.
Chill out.
Got a green thumb. He's a good gardener. Like,
Oh
oh
man.
man, but I, yeah, man, my hero's been on a different level. It definitely has a late. Man,
Mhm.
we were talking about it earlier. Black Clover had a really good chapter this week.
Yeah.
Seeing Noel. you know, get the water spirit. You know, Noel's, you know, like we said, like Noel's growth from really being not being able to even control her magic and kind of being
Hmm.
the runt of the family to now like,
Yeah,
you know, being the they'll end up pretty much being coming stronger than her mom. I mean, and then now like
yeah,
fighting the villain, you know, that killed her mom. So it's like, you know, she's gonna be really the one that gets the revenge for her family. What it seems like.
yeah. Real quick, I do want to go back a little bit because we now that we got Black Clover, I got to shout out Magna.
Oh yeah,
That
Magna.
man went hard in his fights. Like when we went when you were going through Black Clover and you saw the Yami stuff, I was like, my nigga, like I don't think you understood. I jumped out of my seat when I saw Yami throw that thrust cannon and took out all of Dante's whole soul, my nigga. Like that was so crazy. But then it come to find out, like, no, that's not enough. He even hands off Asta like his own blade before he gets like taken away. Like Yami and Asta couldn't stop this nigga. And then we get he even has a line where it's like, it doesn't matter like who you put against me, whether it's a prodigy or whatever like that. Like I'm gonna still come out on top, just like trash talking the whole time. And then we get Magna, who really got left in the dirt by like dust by everybody. Like he was the only other peasant besides Asta, and Asta has a whole demon in him. He got like plot armor out the ass. Everybody else pretty much. Luck has the elf power up. Um, Vanessa got her witch powers and like the little cat, and you see just like all of everybody in the Black Bull is like progressing further and further, except Magna. And then he sits down with Zora, who's the trap nigga. Shout out to my nigga Zora. Um, but like you see him sit down with him and is like, I need to become stronger in my own way. I see you use your mind and you use your thinking and strategy to set traps and like make your power stronger that way. And so this man Magna literally sits down and studies like he's homeschooling himself and try to figure out different runes and capabilities to like power himself up just so he can fight Dante one on one. And the way that they show how Magna uses his abilities and like it is so well done in how he plays into his strength. Like that's probably one of my favorite fights in all of Black Clover, just because of the growth that Magna shown. And and you if you would take a one-on-one fight with somebody like Magna, and it just literally comes down to hands. He can soul chain
Bro,
you, and
listen,
you just literally like
he turned it into a
it
he
just
literally went toe to toe. He said, "Fuck it, we about to slugfest this bitch." Like, hey,
yeah.
that's real. Hey, listen, he was real trusty on his chin. Like, you got to be real confident in your chin and just be like, you know what? What I'm gonna do is you know what? I'm gonna connect this chain to both of us, and all it's gonna do is even
Hmm.
out our magic power. And what we got, and
Yes.
that chain won't let go. We gotta go toe to toe right now. When pretty much is like whoever dies, dies. Like whoever, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like whoever, and yeah, bro, it is.
It, it's so good in like that when he does connect the chain, and you have Dante here who's like never run out of magic before. He has a demon power in him. So it's like he thinks he has infinite mana. He thinks he has infinite magic. But because he's like burning through it trying to like fight Magna, and Magna's just like, I'm used to all of this power now, but like, you know what I mean? I'm still gonna throw these hands. And he finally runs out of magic because he ain't never thought it could happen.
Yeah,
And
he
the
was
way
going
that the
full
fight just
100. He was going full 100 the whole time.
yeah,
That boy ran out of
yeah. That
gas.
nigga Magna fought smart.
He ran out of gas. He was just like, man, shit. He was like, yeah, ain't never happened to you, has it? He was like, you never been broke before,
Mhm.
have you? He was one of those moments. He was like, listen,
It's
bro,
so good.
you never had to sleep with the oven open or with the oven on, bro.
Nah, for real.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those moments. That moment was crazy. Yeah, like
Yeah.
this whole like the whole where they're at now, especially when they're fighting the demons and fighting all these devils, um, is it is it's pretty hectic. It's pretty chaotic. It's
Mhm.
enjoyable though. I think that having all these different bosses, especially all of them at different levels, and also having, I mean, Magnus moment was great because, like you say, he was kind of gone for a minute, you know, and say, and like the last time we
Yeah.
saw him beforehand, he looked like he was left behind by everybody else in terms of power and strength and all that. And then for him to kind of come back
Mhm.
during that big moment and have that, you know, quote unquote defeating Dante because they gotta. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I mean that was a good setup though for what's gonna happen next with Dante, or that battle
Yeah.
that's going on. Dante's probably fighting now, but even now when you got Noel versus what's the witch's name, or
Polo
yeah,
Checa.
Polo Checa, I think. And having this moment where she's fighting pretty much the demon that killed her mom, and now, you
Hmm.
know, and not only she's fighting like the demon that killed her mom, now that she has control of the water spirit who has been protecting the Heart Kingdom for so long, who is now, they're trying to save the Heart Queen, and you get kind of this connecting story of the Heart Kingdom and what the Heart Queen means to her, and what this battle means to Noel, and
Hmm.
them being able to see in the middle of, let's like, listen, we have this goal, we both have kind of like our reasonings may be different, but our goal is still the same, and just seeing them kind of come together and create that power is really dope. And especially, like I said, like seeing from where Noel has come from to now, like even as a royal, where she's supposed to be of elite blood and she's supposed to have all this elite magic. When we first meet her, it's like she couldn't
Hmm.
even, she could never control it, and she, her family has made her seem like the outcast for so long, and now that she has this like moment where, like, oh shit, like now she's popping up, and they're like, oh shit, like she's now she's possessing the water spirit, like she's, they'll say that she's that good now.
Yeah.
um so yeah, Black Clover is this week's chapter was really dope, especially because, like you said, Noel coming into the battle, and these are actually, who all these characters now coming into battle are characters we haven't even seen in a minute. I think Lux showing up too, and all of
Yep.
them. So having them pull up, especially because it looked like a lot of the mages where backs were against the wall. You got Asta
Yeah.
right now who's helping out Natch and fighting those two like
Oh.
second level, or their second tier demons, the twin sisters, and yeah, all
Yeah.
that other shit. So yeah, Black Clover was fun this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Noct for coming in though. Like he really just like cursed all of them niggas out. Like, bro, y'all are embarrassing. Like,
Hey, that's my
I'm gonna need y'all to
dog.
get y'all
Hey,
shit together.
because you were like, "Yo, there's one more reveal that you're gonna see. I know you're gonna power. You see it." I was like, "Man, listen, I didn't know what it was," because I figuring out. Listen, Yuno's my dog. Like Yuno is that's probably my
Yeah.
favorite character, and like figuring out like he was like the prince of the Spade Kingdom and all that. Like that was already like I was like, God, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, my dog's going
Yeah.
crazy. And it also made it was
Yeah.
cool because it made a lot of sense, especially when you see how powerful he is. But you're like, nah, there's one more,
Hmm.
bro. There's one more that's gonna be on the same level. And like, fucking Nash came through. I was like, oh hell, I was like, this is different. Then you figure out the backstory between him and Yami and his twin brother. I was like,
Ye-
oh, I was like, this is
Yeah.
cold. This is cold. Uh,
Yeah, man.
but okay, so we're talking about Outcast, but I want to end this episode talking about a particular Outcast that has been going absolutely crazy. It's gonna be it's a Outcast appreciation uh episode. We're not talking about Big Boy and Andre
Hmm.
3000 though. Um, quick touch on One Piece, which is, but listen, I think is Wano. How much longer we got of Wano, bro? Are we going another 30,
Wano's
40?
going. We might have another 20 to 25 chapters. Because here's the thing. Wano is probably my favorite arc right now. I ain't gonna hold you, just because it's been nonstop gas in my opinion. We get like reveals, a lot of backstories, and I think we about to get into like the final part where like you know Luffy is down. Luffy is supposedly down for the count. We still ain't like get Kaido's full backstory like we got Big Mom and Whole Cake. um and we got this one character Yamato here, and like she we don't know anything about her. Like we've basically seen everybody else and how they fit into the story except her, and like everything is centered around Kaido for the most part, and he's just like washing niggas. Like he caught like what, two bodies in the, well no, he caught this one body. I ain't gonna hold you, and this was like a great body. And he thought he caught Luffy, but like niggas have been dropping left and right in One Piece. And I think with Wano itself, we still have to get through like Kaido. Got to get Luffy back. Big Mom got her own plans. We got stuff with Kid and Law. it's just so crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of moving pieces in One Piece right now,
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
so
chaotic in One
it's a
Piece.
lot to get through.
It's very very chaotic
Yeah,
in One Piece. It's one of those things where it's like I enjoyed One Piece a lot because there are moments where you can like mindlessly read, like you can read and not really like pay
yeah,
attention. But it's like one of those moments where like shit, I like every page. I'm like fuck, what's happening? Damn, this is happening. Like
yeah,
oh shit, like that's
yeah, and it's so
happening.
much to keep up with.
Yeah,
Like we just got Sanji back,
yeah.
and he
Shout out
just
to
like
Sanji.
he holding Zoro like a blunt. You feel me?
Listen,
Like kicking Queen around.
Zoro looked like the cross blunt they were smoking on Pineapple Express. That's what he looked like right now. Man, that boy.
Oh man,
I love how he wrapped up too, and he's still talking shit. Like
yeah.
Kaido was like Chopper, heal him up. He has the strength of 10 men. He was like 20,000.
Right, it's so good.
Man, man, crazy. But no, man, I think for hold on, and we also got to talk about. I mean, it was last week's chapter, but the absolute funniest shit. R.I.P. R.I.P. Keto bro. But
Oh yeah.
when
Hey
Kaido
yo.
smacks him with that club, and it's just like you just see his like head melt, and it looks just like a Tom and Jerry skit, bro. Like that shit is so funny. I'm mad that they didn't put like bonk or like somewhere.
He couldn't get back up like the little accordion, bro. Like
Oh man, they should have did. They should have had him like you know what I'm saying. He could have had like short Kido, like his like body's really tiny, but his arms are still really long. Like man, we should have had
oh
something
my god.
that bro. He has had that. Okay, first of all, Kaido went mad overkill too on his death. Like he
Oh
smashes him
yeah.
in the
Oh hell
head,
yeah.
and then he walks on him, and then he stabs him in the back, and then goes, well, he was like, most people don't know how to accept defeat. Like it's just I'm like, bro, what lesson are you trying to teach right now? Like,
Because here's the thing about Kaido. Like last chapter, he literally just told everybody, like, bro, look, I put y'all nigga down. I put y'all captain down. If y'all throw down y'all weapons and just work for me, ain't nobody else gotta die. Like Kaido be trying to give folks a chance to like live and work for him, but like that, and that's some villain shit. Like this nigga just wants to build an army because he knows he's strong, and it's just like I ain't really trying to kill you. I see your worth. Just work for me. And it's like everybody's in there like, bruh, screw that. You know, Zoro and Sanji had that moment, and people are still fighting because it's Luffy. Of course, he's not gonna
yeah,
be down.
I mean, when you roll, that's it's the the whole power of friendship. Believing in your homie. Seeing your homie don't put
Hmm.
off some amazing things beforehand. So you're like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You think he's dead? Like, man, whatever. Like, you ain't never seen him
Exactly.
work before. Like, I mean, I was pretty much all this.
Exactly.
That's what everyone was pretty much saying this chapter of us. Like, man, listen, all we got to do is just step up until he come back. And you
Exactly.
see it happening with all of them. But hey, listen, it was definitely a weekend full of villains going overboard. Hey, bro,
Yeah.
it's real Maki appreciation though. Real Maki appreciation day. Because this is what listen. The entire time we've gone back, Maki has been on a fucking different level. Like
Yes.
God, bro. Oh my God. So okay. Jujutsu Kaisen. We're getting in. After Shibuya, we learned about the Culling Games. They're trying to plan and get ready for the Culling Games. You get Megumi, who's kind of just, he's the head of the Zenin clan now, and he's just kind of like, bro, I don't fucking want this shit. And Maki's like, no, you need to take this because it's gonna be beneficial for us. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to I'm gonna go back to the clan. I'm gonna go to get some cursed tool objects. So we kind of, she was like, listen, we need to be strapped up and ready for the Culling Games. I need to be ready. You gotta remember, Maki has no cursed energy. Like Maki can't,
Yep.
she can't use cursing, none of that. Like even like so, it is. And okay, here's a funny thing too. I'll get into it after I done explaining where we're at. But then when we get back, we figure out that the other Zenin clan people are they're not really for Megumi being the clan head, and they're really not for Mai or Maki even being a part of the clan no more.
Hmm.
So Maki goes into the cursed energy or the cursed tool vault that they have so she can grab some weapons, and figures out they cleared it out, and she just sees her
Yeah,
dad there, and he's like, you know what, like he just starts talking down on her, belittling her, just talking about like
like
you're not worth
you and
anything.
yeah, both of y'all are disappointments. Like talking down on Mai too. Like Mai is laid there, bloodied up. Like he done finished beating her up, and it's just insane how they describe the Zenin family in this way, because you get into the backstory with Maki and Mai and how they say like twins are basically frowned upon because they split their abilities. Like Mai got the cursed energy, and Maki kind of got like the heavenly restriction. She's basically like Toji in that regard. And also shout out to Toji. That man is a menace
Hey,
after death.
real.
Top one post mortem, my
Hey,
nigga.
listen,
Like
my nigga, bro. Toji's a different breed. A different breed, bro. Listen, big Toji
yo,
hype over here. Toji be walking, man. Listen, Toji big dog around in these damn Jujutsu streets, bro. Listen, fuck having curses scared of you. You have straight Jujutsu sorcerers scared of you.
yes.
You have no curse energy. You have none of that. You have straight sorcerers scared of you. Only one sorcerer can really stand up to you, and he has to.
And you basically like you almost beat this man the first time.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And mind you, it's probably the greatest sorcerer to ever live. That's the one loss that you have in your resume.
Exactly. Like every time we see Toji on page, that man is a menace. We see him come back in Shibuya, straight savagery inside of somebody else's domain. Snatched a weapon out of Maki's hands to go to work. Like it's so insane. Like how
Hey,
great Toji
he
is.
punches that. Hey, he punches that old lady's head off. He's a different
Yeah.
breed, bro. Listen, man, Toji's a different breed. Like oh man, this is gonna go. And listen. We're about to get into my whole why Jujutsu Kaisen's goat talk, and I'm not. Listen, we gotta say that for
I'm all
another.
for it.
Listen,
I'm all
listen.
for it.
I gotta say that for another episode, another day. But but nah, man, you get so pretty much though, back to what's kind of going on in Jujutsu. Maki, has to fight her dad, and she's like, "Fuck it, oh well, like I have to fight him," and she loses his first round. And he throws him in his vault, and this is kind of the moment where you kind of get Maki and Mai's story together, and you get this really
Mhm.
emotional death where Maki has to watch Mai die, and in the hands of he throws him in his room where like all these curses are locked up, and he releases a cage pretty much, and all these curses come, and they kill Mai, but then Maki comes out, and it's like the what I love so much is that they have the Toji parallels happening while she's absolutely
Yeah.
dismantling the entire Zenin clan. She
Yes.
kills her dad. They send like all the this is Jujutsu Kaisen's Itachi moment, pretty much, where she is
Yes.
legit
Yes.
wiping out the entire clan, killing every single person. So they are
I find it funny how like they introduce the other sides of the clan. Like they show like yeah, the clan has several divisions. We got like this squad division led by one of the guys way back at the beginning of the arc, and then you have Noya who's like the head of what is it, Hey, and like they show like all of these different characters have all these different ranks, all just to get washed by Maki.
washed,
Like
washed, beating the brakes off these cats. They sent like 100. Listen, it was one of those like I'm in the club with 100,000 nigga moments, and like she was like smoking all of them, like 4 or 5 cats rushing her at a time. She's just murking them. I mean, like just on a completely different level of like mock, like once again they make how even just how it's drawn, like the actual
yeah,
art style. It's like she's so menacing, like she's so like
hey,
she's just on a different level. And then in this later, I mean, in the chapter before, you see her take out her uncle, you see her take out all the foot soldiers, you see everybody, she's killing her cousins, all of them. And final
yes.
last standing is between her and Naoa, and we see Naoa before when he fought Chozo,
Hmm.
and he kind of Chozo didn't really win. He got lucky. But
I won't say he got lucky. He almost won, but then the Utah situation.
I mean,
You know,
but
Utah pulled up and saved Noah.
they didn't say it, kind of. But I don't. Even Naola said that, like, while he's fighting Maki, he was like, only reason why he ever won is because I let up. Is because I kind of just, like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I didn't go 100%. So he's like, I'm about to go 100% against Maki though, and for him to, first of all, for her to even install that fear in him of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, like I have to go 100%. And like, I think the greatest part is that first of all, you get the first time I think Naoya meets Toji in the beginning, or at least like has his first interaction with him. And the whole time he's fighting Maki, he's like, "You're not Toji, like you're not him." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this
Mhm.
man's name just still rings fear into these folks. Um, and he's like telling her, like, you're not him. And she damn near proves this man, or not even damn near, she proves this man wrong at the end, where she's
Mhm.
able to, Nail's cursed energy allows him to move at like supersonic speed. But he's able to like do like 24 moves per second. So
Yeah.
he's hitting her. He looks like he's winning, and this entire time she's counting his moves. In this entire, like, you just see her counting, and she's counting all the moves that he's doing, like, per second or whatever. Then finally she just stops and she holds this form, and she's like, all right, come in, come get embraced. And he thinks that he got her like held down, pinned down, and she punches this man's face into the ground. And I'm like, yo, Maki, how, like, I have never seen a character built up like this in a very long, like, yeah, like, I just, bro, like, how they have built her up, the strength that she, like, looks, how strong she looks right now is crazy to me. It's just absolutely insane to me how, like, strong Maki looks, and how just the way they did it. I love how gruesome it is too. Like, she didn't just like kill her dad. Like, she sliced like half of it. It's like she sliced half of his head off. She didn't just kill her uncle. She decapitated that man and walked with his head in his hand, and like dropped it in front of his. You know what I'm saying? Like, dropped it in front of his nephew. Like, he's just. It wasn't just her defeating these guys. She completely brutalized and mutilated them. And she,
Yeah.
and you've seen Mai and Maki's, relationship with each other, where, they've had their bouts and their spouts and whatever, but you always knew it was always that sisterly love between them. And that, just that moment of Mai dying, snapping and breaking, Maki, it's just, bro, this whole everything right now is this is one of the greatest strings of chapters that Jujutsu Kaisen has put together. This is one of the greatest strings of chapters that, um in manga right now. Like, we talk about fucking My Hero being all gas, no brakes, man. Shit, this shit's goddamn full. You know what I'm saying? This,
This is
you,
Nitro,
you,
goddamn.
listen, goddamn, you heard their foot on the pedal. It's breaking through the floor of the car right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's on a complete, he's on the completely different level right now, man. She's on a completely different level.
Yeah. I remember saying a while ago, like, you know, I needed something to push over Jujutsu Kaisen for me to be into that top spot. And like the development that they've given Maki over the last few chapters really is like pushing it there for me. Like the way that Jujutsu Kaisen sets up the characters, and it's all like kind of tell and then don't show until later. And then it's like show you what these niggas mean straight up, and then tell you like down the road as they're showing you again. Like when we see from the beginning, back when Sukuna fought Megumi for the first time, and I picked it up because I was also rereading Jujutsu Kaisen a bit. I picked up like he was going to summon the 8 divine generals that he did when Sukuna fought him the second time. But you kind of pick up like small hints of that. Like we see Gojo use hollow purple for the first time, and then we get into the past arc where he shows how he combines the two when he fights Toji. Like they do a lot of great things where they show you like kind of a snippet of something, but it kind of fails, or they'll show you something like and don't really explain into it. Like we even see with Noya's dad in the Shibuya arc, where we see how that frame per second thing works and how he's able to freeze like movements of his targets. But then we get Maki here, and like she really breaks down like his work and movement. Like I think, bro, when we get to the anime and the anime does this, this is gonna be like the cleanest. This is gonna be anime of the year again. Like I'm sorry, like I'm saying again because it might be anime of the year this year. Like I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, man, Jujutsu Kaisen is really doing something special in that it's taking a lot of the story and it's not only just showing you the different things, but it kind of like progressively builds on top of it while just giving you the action that you want behind it. Like, and I think what I'm starting to appreciate with Jujutsu Kaisen more is like they aren't really just like showing you how bad a character might be either, because they'll touch base on another character. Like I don't think that they showed the Zenin family and all of these rankings and all of this stuff for nothing. Like they wouldn't have just introduced all of these people and not probably give some type of like backstory. So I think we're not done with the Zenin family, even though they're done in the main story. I think we're gonna like show like how the Jujutsu world led up to this point, because we still haven't gotten much of like the Kamo family. We still haven't gotten much of Gojo family outside of just Gojo himself. Um, there's a lot left in Jujutsu Kaisen, even though like the author said like 2.5 years, bro. Like I think the 2 years is gonna be jam packed. We about to get the culling games. We might get something after that, like the final story arc. I think we just, bro, Jujutsu Kaisen is having one of the best runs in Shonen Jump.
Man, another level. It's really king right now. It's really king. If
Yeah,
it were like, yeah, but man, it's been a lot to catch up on. It's been a lot to catch
yeah,
up on. We
man,
talked about a lot. We're happy to be back. Oh, it's oh yeah, like I said, we're happy to be back weekly, so we could talk about these things together now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Talk about them
man.
together. So appreciate you know what I'm saying, appreciate everyone listening to the welcome back episode of the Big Eyes podcast. As always, we didn't move anywhere. We're on the Lookout Network. So make sure you're following and you're subscribing to the Lookout RNC wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you're following us on all socials at the Lookout RNC. We're just we having fun on the Twitter. We getting having fun on the Instagram. So yeah, man, stay talk to us. Well, about manga. If you hear something in here where I if y'all want to make fun of me for having to eat the crow, like listen, bro. But and make sure that you guys are following RNC Radio Live. Your one stop shop for all things podcast, pop culture, all of it. So make sure you're subscribed there and that you're following on Twitter. That's at RNC Radio Live. Make sure you're following One Mage Academy. Where AD is posting just a lot of cool things. It's like One Mage Academy now is turned to like one of them aesthetic pages. So you know what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. So make sure you're tapped in over there. But man, you know what? We're happy to be back. AD, what's the sign off?
We back with more manga, with more anime. Please drink more water, live more life, take care. We back, baby.
We back.